Hope you're ready for this.
Gonna be fun.
You will not stand in my way.
Frostborn. Hunger. This pleases me.
I do not fear you, mortal.
Your soul shall be mine.
Don't make me laugh.
Needs a brew? Oh, I do. Feel a shredding, baby. Let the battle begin.
What is up, everyone? Welcome to episode 99 of the Nexus Trolls, a Heroes of the Storm podcast, and part of the Trolls.gg Entertainment Network. I am your host, Soken, and I am joined today by Aurumis. What's up, dude?
Hey, how's it going, Soken? How's your week been?
Oh, I started off the week with a flat tire. Yay! That sounds awesome.
Ooh.
Got that spare on, and then now just waiting for the weekend to get it actually fixed. And other than that, I've been kind of tired. I don't know. Just mentally, I just have not been in my own body the whole week. I don't know about you, but
Yeah, I've been super busy this week because I'm taking a week off next week for a special event. So
the special event that we're all looking forward to.
The special event. So it's been a little busy lately, but I can't wait for that week off. Spend it with my fellow compadres, Goon and Soken at Blizzcon. I'll be seeing a lot of them. Get to meet up with a lot of my students that I've been coaching for a while. I get to meet up with like players and friends, so it's gonna be a really good time. I am beyond excited to leave.
Awesome, me too. There's a lot of preparation before that, of course, for I think all of us. So
We still need to plan a lunch with the podcast boys.
Yeah, there's lots of planning to do.
Definitely.
That's probably going to be done this weekend. But yeah, Goon could not make it today. He was in scrims earlier. They're doing a bunch of tryouts and changes and stuff for No Tomorrow. So they're doing their thing. And then I think he had to take a night shift tonight for his work because he needs to make a little bit of extra money to prepare for BlizzCon. So he's got his own stuff going on, and he just had to do like that car repair, he said. So that's money as well. All right. So with that said, I just want to quickly talk about our Patreon before we move into the rest of our show here. Patreon.com/TrollsGG. The Trolls.gg Patreon is shared with the Nexus Trolls and all of the Trolls.gg content creators. You can join the Troll Army by donating just even as low as $1 a month and earn access to show notes, as well as priority access to after-show viewer games and any other special things that we do after the show. At $10 a month, you reach Chieftain status. You'll get the previous awards plus a special shout-out at the end of the month. Or sorry, end of the show, end of the month. We've also added a brand new exclusive Patreon tier, the War Chiefs, limited to 5 people at $20 a month, and you will get the most exclusive of benefits and rewards for that tier, which is access to the personal access to the next goal, which is the patron-only gift card drawing. So we lost a couple subscribers, unfortunately, but it's all good, no problem at all. We are at $78 out of $125 for the goal. So once we hit that goal of $125 is when we do the patron only gift card drawing. And yeah, that's what we will do then. Let's see. Is there anything else we want to discuss before we go into the show? Probably not. We got a long show for you today. Just to give you guys, all you listeners and whatnot out there, a little roadmap for the next couple the next couple weeks, right? So this week we're doing our 99th episode. We're going to talk about things leading up to BlizzCon, talk about all that stuff. We're going to come back with episode 100 next week. All right. Sorry, not next week. 2 weeks. In 2 weeks. But it'll probably be not on the 8th. It'll probably be on the 6th. So that way all of the BlizzCon stuff is still in our minds. For everything that we experienced, saw, whatnot, we can talk about on the 6th. So I would say be on the lookout for the next episode. So episode 100 on November 6th. Keep that in mind. What are we doing for episode 100? honestly, it's kind of perfect timing. So we're probably going to go into a year, like a yearly or a year's like kind of retrospective type of thing, a year retrospective type of thing. Honestly, I'm not really sure what else we can do that episode, partially because people, I would kind of have maybe an interview set up or something like that, but people are just getting back from BlizzCon. It could be kind of a hectic time. Not really sure what's going to go on there. I'm going to do my best to make that a great episode for everyone, since it is episode 100. We'll see what we can come up with. Nothing scheduled yet.
I think I can surprise us with something nice. I got something in mind.
All right. Well, you guys heard it here. At minimum, we will have something good from Aurumis. So we definitely we'll find out something. We'll figure out something. All right. So don't worry about that. And then what else? Is there anything else? I don't think so. With that said, let's go into the news.
Someday, this will make a great story.
All right. So let's start it off here. One sec. I'm sorry. Topic highlights. All right. Yeah. So the first thing here, Twitch drops for BlizzCon streams. So if you guys have been watching, it started today actually. So if you guys were watching the HGC stream, the HGC Global Finals opening week stream today, that was the beginning of Twitch drops enabled for the main stream. The link is in the show notes. I'll actually put this in chat for you guys as well, because it's kind of a lot of details there for how things break down. I'm not going to go into the full details of that because I don't feel like doesn't benefit you guys that much. Basically, go to that link, check it out. You get time, you get little in-game benefits and items and whatever for watching the stream. So make sure you guys are watching the HGC stream. If you guys also love StarCraft 2, there's some StarCraft 2 rewards in there for watching the HGC stream, and then also watching a StarCraft stream. The finals for StarCraft it's pretty awesome. It's kind of tier based, so there's that. Definitely awesome to see come back. They got the drops going on. I already got one drop for watching today. I got my one drop, and I got, what was the first reward? I think it was a Vikings. It was the Cheery Vikings portrait I got already. So that's number one. So tomorrow, if I watch 3 more hours tomorrow, or 4 more hours tomorrow, I'll get the Cheery Vikings spray. So that's pretty cool. Make sure you guys are tuning in. You still got a lot of time left. It's all broken down for you on that link. Tells you the dates for everything, including the times and everything like that. Make sure you're watching. All right? Don't want to miss out. Oh yeah, and something very important to mention. Thank you for bringing this up, Schizo. I definitely meant to mention this on this specific one. I guess I forgot to put it down here, but there's 2 streams. Actually, no, it's the next one. I was going to talk about that. Anyway, I didn't write it down here specifically, so I'm glad that you brought it up, Schizo. We'll go into the next thing real quick here. Boom. HGC opening week has started today. Aurumis, where can we find HGC action?
Ooh, you could find it on 2 different streams. You could find it at twitch.tv/BlizzHeroes, where you'll find some observers and casting and great games. And you can find it on stream 2 at twitch.tv/BlizzHeroes2. Also, great games with very passionate teams that I really enjoyed watching. But you also won't have any casters to help navigate you through the game, and no drops. So you'll probably just end up watching Blizz Heroes, which is unfortunate because there's a lot of teams that need to get credit for how hard they're working, I think. And that second stream is Monka S, as
so I dropped into stream number 2 today just to see what it was like, and it was emote only mode. You couldn't even chat in the chat because they didn't want to take the time to actually moderate the second stream's chat. So you could only use emotes. You don't get drops. There's no casting, which is actually in its own way kind of interesting. But I think for the biggest event of the year, that's not something we exactly want. We'll get into that later. We'll get into that a little bit later. We'll definitely bring that up. We'll talk about that more. Don't you guys worry. But I don't recommend watching that second stream personally. So
I recommend checking it out and supporting the teams that are playing on there at least for a little bit, because it's a good feeling to have people behind you, and don't leave those teams behind that are working hard because of a Blizzard mistake.
true. I mean, I see that. I was just mostly saying, make sure you get your drops, or sorry, not your drops, your your drops, your chests, and
Yes.
all that stuff first. Make sure you get that first.
I'm hoping they enable drops like tomorrow for second stream and realize that.
Yeah, true. Hopefully they fix that. I think that, if anything, is a big deterrent, the biggest deterrent for people
Yes.
to go there. So definitely, I agree. All right, that's that, guys. Everyone, that is it for the news. There was not much news this last week. There really wasn't anything important that came out about Heroes per se. I'm a little lagging here. Blah. Anyway, there wasn't much going on related to news. So that's really it for the news. We're going to go into trolling the Nexus here. We're going to go into a little bit more detail about some HGC stuff. Pretty much just HGC at the beginning, and then we're going to talk a little bit about our final predictions and wish lists for BlizzCon.
We're gonna have a good time.
All right. First thing here. Now, this is something Aurumis and I are going to have a little discussion about. Now, there's a lot of feelings, a lot of feelings going around. Everyone has their own opinion on the HGC Global Finals, so BlizzCon, HGC BlizzCon. Now, something that I want to kind of throw out there is this what we expect from the biggest tournament of the year? Is this? This is day one, right? There's still more to be done, but is this what we should expect? Is this the quality we should expect from this tournament so far, just on day one?
I mean, not at all. Like, I feel like Stream 1 was run very well, and it was great. The scheduling of the tournament overall is obviously poor to just have two matches going on at the same time like that. Especially given how long this week is. I feel like they could have planned that a lot better. And the second stream is just so disheartening. And from the HGC finals, where I'm super hyped to see like every match, that kind of stinks. Like, there's still going to be great replays to go over, and I'm definitely going to watch all of those games in time. But a lot of that hype dies down, like having to miss the game and not having the casters and everything. And I don't know, a little disappointing from a spectator point, but
true. And I for the most part, I would agree with that. I think now I'm not a big fan of comparing HOTS gameplay wise and all that stuff to other MOBAs. I'm not a big fan of that. HOTS is kind of its own game. And so I don't think it's really fair in a lot of ways to make those comparisons. But the one thing I will say is the broadcasting / production / scheduling, all of that being done for League of Legends Worlds, all of that has been phenomenal. And I think that HOTS has a lot to catch up on. I want to see... I love HOTS, man. I'm obsessed. You know what I mean? I want to see the best out of this game. I want to see it be shown off to the maximum extent that it could possibly be shown off. And I think that there's still a lot of work to be done in relation to that. But
yeah,
let's go into what they did well, at least so far. So for day one, I want to talk about what they did well, and then we'll go into what maybe needs some improvement. So what they did well. What do you think, Aurumis? What do you think they did well?
I feel like the casting crew themselves that they've picked is really, really nice. I mean, apart from not seeing Kalaris or Kalaris.
Yeah,
Kalaris. I mean, I like seeing him on there just because like I'm a familiar face. But I feel like everybody they picked has like very good knowledge of the game. Like, they're all very familiar faces. There's people who've been doing like very well in the scene as casters, and I feel like that represents the teams well too. the overall production of everything looks really nice. They fixed the draft screen, the overlay at the bottom of it, so you can still see the casters while they're talking during the draft, but you can see the draft at the same time. So I thought that was pretty nice. Before you couldn't do that. Yeah. So overall, pretty good.
I have to agree that draft screen change, the way that they used to do it was they would zoom into the game. The game would be the main source of the screen, right? So your whole screen would be taken up by the draft, and then you get this little window at the bottom that kind of show the casters, show the stadium, show the screens, whatever kind of cinematography they wanted to do with everything else. And it's not as fun for me. Like, now that I've seen this new way that they're doing it, it's not as fun for me the other way. I don't like staring at a question mark. What are they going to pick, as the main source of my vision? I don't like staring at that now. It's actually, I think they should start doing this, honestly, for the HGC, on the HGC seasons, during the HGC seasons. I think this should be the new way that they do it. This is phenomenal. Something I noticed was that the caster's dress code is a lot more relaxed. Normally, you could be going into, look at every single day of the HGC season. It didn't matter what sets were being played. Everyone had like a tie and a suit. And it's like, I don't know. Do we need a tie and a suit every single day? I'm not so sure about that.
Yeah.
I like the fact that they are more relaxed. I'm throwing that out there. I like the fact that they are more relaxed dress code. Of course, they're going to step it up for the actual BlizzCon event itself, but I like the fact that during the opening week itself, on the opening week itself, oh shoot, I forgot to actually do that. Anyway, it's a little more relaxed, and so there's that. Now, moving on, what needs improvement, right? We just talked about what they did well. Something I noticed right off the bat, something that started to really annoy me after, hours upon hours of watching. They have this pew pew sound that goes off when something's drafted or banned. It was cool at first, and then it really started to get annoying. Maybe that's a little subjective. To me, that started to actually just become a very big annoying thing, and I was not enjoying it. I don't know. I like the fact they're trying to change it up, but I feel like you could use a different sound. It could be just a very simple sound. It doesn't have to be, because they could have just even used the same sound that's in game. Honestly, the kind of sound they have where when something gets locked in, I think that's really cool. The band sound is like a band hammer coming down. You know what I mean? I like those things. They didn't have to change that up necessarily. And now we have this new one that's kind of like not as really my style, I guess. Maybe that's just me. I do like the animation. Like Schizo, you're saying in chat. It kind of goes, it's this zoomed out. It's kind of this zoomed out version of the hero that zooms into then their like face, which is kind of cool. But yeah. And then what else here, Aurumis? We kind of already mentioned this, I guess, but
yeah,
the casting on the second stream. Dude, it's hard to kind of excuse this thing.
Especially knowing there's so many casters that would literally just do it for free for the experience too, that like live nearby.
Yeah.
Like Kala Cass, like when he's not coaching TS, like I'm sure he might have even done it just to be like, okay, let's get somebody up there. Like, I don't know.
Call is definitely in the area. He's with Tempo Storm right now. They're playing right now. He's there.
Yeah,
I would have driven. I would have driven to Los Angeles. I would have taken days off. I would have done. I would have done this.
People could I would even have a remote caster. Like when you realize how bad that is, like call somebody up and be like, "Hey, would you mind like casting these from home?"
Dude, that would be so cool.
Like it's a Heroes hype tournament. Like, you want to know something? At least you're trying. Like, to have nothing up there all day.
Yeah.
Like, salvage this. At least salvage the situation. Be like, I'm sorry, I'm wrong. We're gonna try our best to fix it. It'll be better tomorrow, but for today, here's something to like show we're trying. You know,
I like
put your best
that.
foot forward.
Yeah, I would have liked to see some kind of just like you said, remote casting. I mean, choose whatever series is more quote unquote important to you for the mainstream, and then let someone else make it like known, like, hey guys, you can actually cast over this if you want, so people can actually bring up this, the restreaming capability on Twitch. You could actually restream and cast over the current broadcast, so you could just restream the second stream with your own thing, and they could have had official casters for that. I think that could have been cool. There's a lot of ways they could have done it. Maybe they just ran out of time, but I mean, come on.
I mean, maybe it was time, maybe it was budget. I don't know, but there's so many community members that would jump.
Definitely.
For free, just to be like, I'm getting my name out there. Let's do it. And let me show you what I have. And like, that's not even a bad way to approach it. That'd be pretty cool, honestly.
Yep. All right. All right. So we went over what we think they did well for day one, what we think they can improve on. We'll see if they improve on any of those things. I'm gonna put in the notes actually real quick. Oh shoot, I forgot actually what I was gonna put. Anyway, I wanted to go over this thread in that came from Reddit. Now, Reddit is what it is. All right, it's kind of the armpit in a way of the HOTS community a little bit. There are some interesting things that come up every once in a while. I do like to talk about some of these things sometimes, so of course, here it is. Someone on Reddit talked about how BlizzCon HGC finals are on the road to being the worst global HOTS LAN event. So I'm assuming they mean like in history so far. Now, the arguments they're really using here are fewer games to watch, best of three and single elimination finals. And yeah. I mean, we already kind of talked about some things.
Single elimination?
It's kind of insane, actually. Best of three, single elimination finals. I'm assuming the finals is a best of five at minimum, but because I don't think that's stated here. I haven't looked myself.
It wasn't single elimination last year, was it?
I think it was. Yes, it was. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they have been. The quote unquote not single elimination style is what comes in the opening week for what I was saying, right? Like the opening week, we have this best of two kind of thing going on, where you have this round robin style thing that you could see that as more of like a double elimination kind of, because you have more than one chance to make up for things should you lose a series, blah blah blah, based on bracket, luck, unluck, etc.
I feel like they could still do double elimination.
Yeah, I kind of feel like a bracket would have been better. You can
even if it's best of threes, all the way through like semis or something like that.
Agreed.
I don't know.
I honestly don't know that this is on track to be the worst global HOTS LAN event ever. I don't know that I would go this far. I just kind of wanted to bring some positivity to this topic because I feel like it is a little too negative. I don't think that this is like the worst tournament in history.
It's getting there. It depends on how they play the rest out. There's a lot of stuff they can improve on the fly, I think, just by like watching it themselves and realizing that stuff. So I hope they take an approach to trying that. But definitely not the worst LAN event, but out of the other BlizzCons, I would say it's the least well managed thus far.
Agreed, but I don't want to call it what whoever made this, right? They're saying like the worst event ever. Like I don't know. It sounds a little like too apocalyptic kind of like to me. But I just wanted to say like it's still an amazing tournament. Like that's what it comes down to. It's still a great tournament. There's still a lot of good matches going on. If you watch any of the matches today, despite what I kind of thought last week about the overlaps causing some problems and whatnot, I actually don't feel like it was that big of a deal as much as it came down to teams playing how they should play, just in general. The one, for instance, the Chinese team showed up really hard today. Took a game off of Tempest, took a game off of Leftovers. That's actually kind of insane.
Yeah.
And so I think that is something I kind of like put too much emphasis on last week, and I wanted to kind of just note that like it actually was not as bad as I thought it would be. Goon kind of gave me his take on this because I was kind of curious. Since even though he couldn't make it today, I wanted to hear what he had to say. He kind of said, "I'm being optimistic and thinking Blizzard is looking to amp it up next year, so they're kind of just doing what they need to do this year to get it going." And his kind of that's like his optimistic side, and his pessimistic side is kind of like, well, this is a massive oversight, and this was like their best try for what they had what they were able to do this year. And he says that it's kind of a bad look for sponsors / investors if you don't have your teams represented in the best way possible. So I guess I can definitely see it that way, right? I mean, Goon is kind of like the de facto HGC person of the cast. He deals the most with HGC stuff, like actual. He's the coach for an HGC team. Tomorrow. He deals with a lot, and so if that's what he's saying, I can definitely see that for sure.
Yeah.
You want sponsors and investors to feel like they can pick up a team. There's a lot of unsponsored teams, including No Tomorrow, and you want those teams to be able to look good. There's a lot of things involving that. We can go into that forever. Honestly, I don't want to go into that forever, but mainly I just wanted to kind of discuss. I don't think there's all like the massive negativity of this thread is really warranted. I do think there's oversights, and I think if they don't do something with it next year, I feel like that could be kind of the nail in the coffin. It's been 4 years now. We need to start stepping it up with Heroes if we really want it to go somewhere. I don't think this is bad. I just think that it needs to be better. So maybe that's just me being the perfectionist, but I think next year is kind of the make or break for Heroes, and we'll see what kind of happens with that.
Yeah, I hope they listen to a lot of this feedback, and I hope they amp it up like immediately, like a bunch of the changes that they're showing for BlizzCon, like production wise, like doing that during the HGC regular season, like fixing some of the scheduling errors. It's good they fixed the one thing I did like this year is they fixed the timing for roster changes and delayed it an extra week.
Oh yeah?
So that, yes, they did fix that. So now players going to BlizzCon aren't like, I'm definitely leaving my team after this. Oh, like,
yeah, true.
There's still time, which I like because that's a better atmosphere for players on the team that are playing. So, props to them for fixing that a little.
Yeah, that's actually amazing. That was something. I mean, literally, people after they lost in BlizzCon. They went to BlizzCon with their team. They played, and then if they lost, you immediately saw on Twitter people removing like their team names from their Twitters, and
yeah,
that's kind of Monka right there. That's like not a good look. So that means things were happening way before that, and that's. Sorry, I don't know if I lagged there. That means things were happening way before that, and who knows what was really happening. But
yeah, I didn't like that at all. So I like that they fixed it a little bit. Props to them.
Awesome, dude. Glad you could bring that up. I didn't know that. So okay, let's go on to the next thing here. We want to talk about our final predictions, and then our wish lists for HOTS reveals this year at BlizzCon. So we kind of already talked about this a little bit. Something I don't want. I know there's a lot of information out there already. If there's any spoilers, please do not put them in chat, okay? No spoilers in chat. I don't know anything. Aurumis doesn't know anything. We want to keep it that way. There could be other people right now that are watching, listening, whatever. They might not want to know. Please do not put any spoilers in chat. Thank you. Thank you. With that said, we're going to talk about predictions and we're talk about wish list. So predictions is kind of like what we think will happen, and then wish list is kind of like what we want to happen. So there's kind of the theory versus practice type of thing. Yeah, I appreciate that, Schizo, that you did not put anything in Discord and whatnot. So thank you for that, and thank you for asking. I really do appreciate that. So I'll start it off. What I think for predictions, I think they're gonna do one new hero this year with a new map, and then maybe some vague promises again about what they're gonna implement. So like, what's coming up, and I think this one map is gonna be Haunted Mines rework. I think that's gonna be this BlizzCon. I think that's what's gonna be revealed, the Haunted Mines rework, along with a new hero, and maybe some vague promises, meaning like performance-based matchmaking. Oh, we're bringing that back again. Like, I don't know, some kind of thing relating to what features people have wanted. That's kind of my thought. What about you, Armis?
Ooh, I think they're gonna put a new map in. I think they're gonna put a new hero in. I think they're gonna announce some like reworks for older heroes that they've been quote unquote like looking at lately, which would be cool. I think that's kind of gonna end it. I don't think it's gonna be really anything beyond that. I mean, their usual, we're gonna update the rank system and fix this, and like they'll probably talk about like Party Finder and stuff like that again, but I don't think that's gonna come. What I'm hoping for is I really do want a new map. I want a new hero. Obviously.
Do you want like a new map, or are you okay with like a reworked map? Like
I want something new because my wish list. I want something new with like a new mechanic.
No,
I want a new mechanic on the map.
No, this is predictions.
Okay.
No, this is predictions.
Yes.
What we think.
Just predictions. I think just the map, a hero, and a couple of reworks for old heroes.
But
I don't think they're gonna put anything else.
Do you think this map is the reworked Haunted Mines, like I was kind of theorizing, or do you think this is a new map?
I think it'll be a new map.
Okay.
I think it'll be a new map.
Okay, so let's talk about the wish list then. So go into your wish list. What you would want to see them announce this year?
What I want to see is in the new map, if there is one. I really want there to be a new mechanic in the map. I guess something similar to like what Alterac Pass was, where like you had the war chiefs as like the core, something like that. I don't know. I just want to see something new, maybe different camps, maybe different minions that spawn in the lane, like something different would be cool.
Some kind of new mechanic. So like, yeah, it could be like a camp, a bot, some kind of new boss, new camp.
Yeah,
maybe
exactly.
A new core, something new and unique. Yeah, I see that for sure.
I definitely want to see a bunch of hero reworks with like similar talent changes to how we've seen like Brightwing and Kerrigan reworked, like we've been talking about. And yeah, I mean that's really what I want to see, like more toward like the competitive play part is just a bunch of those reworks and then something new to keep spectators interested.
Yes. I kind of agree. That's kind of what I had. So like one new hero. The thing for me is like one new hero is not really my wish list. It's just something I know is going to happen. Like you cannot have a BlizzCon and not have a hero. So I'm just going to say, okay, whether or not I want it, right? It has to be in the wish list. All right, we got one new hero. I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to say something unique for this BlizzCon that I would want them to announce is hero reworks announced at BlizzCon that you can play. So that would be kind of cool because even if you have a bunch of people who used to play HOTS, like, you know, older heroes too is what I'm talking about, right? So you just kind of like similar to the Kerrigan Brightwing, people can come back, can play the reworked heroes and can play them at BlizzCon more than just the new hero, right? It's like, oh damn, you know, this new hero got locked in because it's like a quick match at BlizzCon. So, oh, it got locked in. Well, I guess I could play the reworked hero type of thing. So that would be kind of cool. And then of course, my desire would be specific ranked changes announced, as well as like a declaration of focus on ranked. Like we plan on making multiple changes to ranked throughout the year. And we'll continue to do it. We'll not just like make a change and leave it for half a year or whatnot. Or, you know, we've made a change and we've been testing it like for a long, long time. We know it's good. This is what we're going to do. So that's kind of my thought. You guys, anyone listening already knows I have a huge focus on ranked play, and I would rather see changes to ranked play over any new hero, any reworked hero. Wow, am I lagging? Like, what is happening right now? I actually don't know. I feel like I'm lagging. But yeah, I would seriously, I don't want anything else. I don't care about anything else. I just want the ranked system to be the best ranked system it can be. If that means a hard reset with a completely different ranked system, ranked divisions, completely different whatevers, I don't care. I want it to be better. So that's the core of this game. Like, whether people think of it or not, ranked is the core of this game. And you got to have a competitive ranked system. And so I want to see that. I want to see competition. So that's kind of my wish list for that. I've already said this a million times. I'm probably preaching to the choir right now about that. But all right, that's pretty much it. We kind of went over how we think the opening week is going so far, what we think they did well, what they can improve on, as well as like we kind of addressed some kind of like naysaying / really negative feedback, and then made our predictions. So with that, I think that's it for Trolling the Nexus. We're going to go into a really, really long Hero League report segment. So first we're going to go over the Hero League report, and then we're going to talk about kind of our closing thoughts for the year on Hero League, as well as lessons learned. So with that, here's the Hero League report.
Get good or get wrecked.
All right. So, all right, here we are. Boom. So I'm going to kind of go over Goon's Hero League report for him, because he did play a lot of Hero League this week. He was not able to make it. Like I said, he has to work some extra hours at work. Oh, he's in chat. What's up, Goon? Look at that dedication, tuning in at work. I'm taking... He's in the bathroom at work watching the Nexus Trolls. That's great. All right, so I'm going to kind of go over Goon's Hero League report this week. I watched him play a lot of his Hero League on stream. A lot of good games, and then a lot of like ways to improve, as well as like things he's learned. I'm going to go over that real quick. So his goal this week was to experiment with different supports and maybe some different builds. He was looking to pick up some... I should say, at first he kind of did some Brightwing play. He played a lot of Brightwing, something I noticed. And then he this like the very last stream, I think it was yesterday's stream, he focused on Rhaegar. So he kind of was like kind of changing up the builds a little bit. At one point I saw him taking the Q mana reduction at level 4, and then taking the level 13 Earth Living enchant, even though it's kind of poop. He kind of tried it out. That was actually interesting. They ended up winning that game. But I think something he kind of settled on was the Rhaegar W, so the shield at W is at 1 and 4. Then you take Cleanse, Ancestral Healing, and then instead of taking the W Earth Shield at 13, you take Tidal Wave. Now, where this specific talent comes a lot into play here is over objectives that have a lot of grouping, because how that works is that every bounce of the heal, you get more CDR on your Q. So what you do is you have the W at 4. That gives you your mana sustain, so you can sustain on a point forever, as long as your tank is like kind of hitting enemies and whatever. Then at level 13, you got that CDR. So not only can you get your mana back after everything, because you're getting more mana back than you're spending, right? I mean, you're getting a lot of mana. It's up to 100 mana. So you're getting your mana back, and then you're getting the CDR on your Q. So you're just going Q, 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 Earth, shield, Q, Q, Q. It's kind of insane, actually. He was putting out top heals pretty much a majority of his games when he was doing that. was pretty awesome. And then there were speaking of bloodlust in chat. So like, there's actually one game he kind of had a smorking comp where it was like 4 melees. So it was like Rhaegar and then like a main tank, an Artanis, and then what was it? A Colossus Smash variant. And so he went bloodlust because like the goal there is like, obviously we have so many melees, we're just gonna charge at someone and we're gonna delete them, right? Unfortunately, that did not work out. They ended up losing. They had the chances to win, but the team just was never on the same page. So I like the look. I like the fact that he recognized bloodlust will work here and can work here, and then it was just like kind of a team failure, not more than anything that they didn't win. He's been grinding a lot of Hero League lately, and he's been just trying to be the best he can and draft kind of the best he can for insane comebacks, and trying not to give into the negativity, how dire things may seem. He's also been praising his teammates more often, so he's been doing that more from a standpoint of like he can tell that they're trying, like they're actually trying in his games. You know what I mean? So are you there?
Me? Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay. Well, no, your image looked very like still. You were like very still. I was not sure if you were frozen or not.
I'll just sit and play Hero League and listen to you talk about Goon.
I'm sorry. Anyway, no, you're good. I just all right, yeah. So I couldn't tell if you were frozen because we had trouble with that. But yeah, so he's been like complimenting his teammates more, realizing that they're actually trying, no matter if their skill is low or not. It was very good for him morale wise, and then long sessions he's found himself to get tired about after 4 hours, so he's going to work on that by just playing more often in general, keeping up his consistency. As for me, I went 2 and 3. I did a Tuesday night Hero League stream, so thank you to anyone that came and hung out with me on Tuesday. I just got home, I just started grinding right away. Things didn't look very good. I was 0-2. I lost my first 2 games. My first game of the night was a Cho'Gall pick on Sky Temple, and I had to salvage that draft. And it was Cho'Gall, Zeratul, I chose Phoenix, and then we had a healer. I don't remember what healer it was. But yeah, actually, funny enough, that game was totally winnable. Totally winnable. I was doing everything I could to supplement my team. I took the top lane so that Cho'Gall could focus mid-bot, and then Zeratul took bot lane, and then we kind of went from there. Things were going okay, but they weren't listening to my pings. They weren't listening at all to my pings, which I knew right away was a terrible sign, because if your Cho'Gall is not listening to your pings, that's a feels bad, man. Oh, it was a Tyrande. That's what it was, a Tyrande. There was one time I pinged top. I said, Tyrande, don't go top. Or you need to back off of top. Like, they're rotating to you. It was, like, very clear. And she stood there and she died. And then there was one time my Cho'Gall... Actually, not one time. Multiple times my Cho'Gall would go, like, 1v4. Literally, he would try to 1v4 team. They had a Garrosh get tossed in, taunted, and he would just die. I mean, like... there's nothing you could do about that. Like, I couldn't feel bad about that game. I died one time the whole game. I had top DPS, top siege. I played out of my mind that game. And I was so happy, but it was also kind of like a bad way to start out the day, because it's like, you do so well, you make so many plays. I got so many kills that game just to like bring my team back into it, and then my team wouldn't do anything with the advantages. Like, it was a very demoralizing first game. And then I ended up losing the second game. That was kind of demoralizing even more. I could have improved that second game. I could have done better. But then I brought it back, baby. I brought it back. I carried hard for 2 games straight. And it feels good, man. And then I was like, I do the usual. I'm going to end it on an odd game. I'm going to end it on an odd game. I'm going to tie break this. And this will determine how I view the night. And of course... you get that clutch Gazlo pick on Braxis, first pick. You just feel so good. You just go into that game knowing, oh man, we can't lose this game with a first pick Gazlo. But of course we lost. So I ended up 2-3. I think the thing I learned from that Gazlo game was actually that I tried to be. I should have been selfish. I should have actually taken a DPS that game. I think I could have actually won the game for us with the DPS. But I took a tank. And my team just did not really follow me. My team didn't really follow up on me. I just kind of stood there and just died. I mean, I took all the damage. I took a lot of damage. You know, I'm not a very good tank player in the first place. I got a lot to work on. But it was a very hard night for me to end that night on that. But it is what it is. I can improve on some things. One thing I always learn every single time I make this mistake is just be selfish. You know, if you have the chance to play your best hero, you should do it. You should. And you should let your teammates fill. If you're looking to win, right? If you're looking to just purely for winning's sake, your best chance to win, that is what you should do. So that's something that I learned from my game, is to be selfish. And then I was not in my own mind that night. Like I was reflecting on it mentally. I wasn't there completely. There were some games where I was like Dahaka, and I was just like on Cursed Hollow, and I was the same side as the Tribute. I'm just thinking to myself, what am I doing right now? I'm on the same side of the map with a global as, you know, it doesn't make any sense. I was just not there. So there's always consistency and whatnot that I can improve on as well. Aurumis, you told me that you went 7-0 this week.
Ooh, it's been a good week.
Yeah, so what's up, dude?
I haven't played much Hero League, granted. I only played 7 games over the course of like 2 nights that I played, because of school and BlizzCon prep. But I played 5 my Ev games. Like, I just want to learn my Ev, because we've just been like, I don't know, I've just been seeing her a little bit, and I picked her up, and the 4th game in, our team's in a team fight on Cursed Hollow. We lose. We kill their Deckard. They wipe everybody but me. I'm like, okay, it's 20 minutes in the game. Our keep's open. I'm like, they're going to take their boss. They're going to win the game. I have to just, fight, right? Like, I have to do something. I waltz in there, containment their tank, and wipe the team. By myself.
By yourself?
And I was like, yeah.
Just Q.
My team's dead. Yeah, just Q versus 4 of them.
Oh my!
It was a 1v4, and I wanted to get the boss and win the game. And I was like, all right, I'll play this hero a little more.
Hold my beer.
And
hold my beer.
Yeah. And it's been going well. And then I had one Hanzo game last night. I just felt like my Ev wouldn't fit, and I went Q build with Hanzo on Tomb, and just double soaked the way to victory.
Oh yeah!
Ooh, a lot of fun. And now I'm playing Murden on Braxis and doing Murden things.
Ah, okay. You know, I like Q build, full Q build. I'm not gonna lie. It's full Q build is kind of debatable. You definitely take Q and Q at 1 and 4, but level 7 is a little up in the air, because you could go pretty much anything there still, even with Q build. I'd like to go the armor piercing personally for Q build. I like that a lot, because you're between Qs, you're still doing a lot of autos. So you get the Qs in, you move in for a little auto, maybe some scatter arrows, lower their armor for the following Q, which will already do more damage if you're stacked. I like it a lot on 2-lane maps. So I'm glad that you actually messed around with that. It's really good, but the problem is you got to make sure all the heroes are accessible.
Yeah.
You can't be taking Q build into an Abathur comp. I mean, you're never going to get that, right? So don't do that, but just keep that I want everyone to keep that in mind. I want everyone to try it out. Even if you're in a brawl, I've done a lot of ARAM brawls where I do Q build, and it's so much fun. You could finish the quest pretty easily, and it's good times. So that's pretty cool. My Eva is very, very strong, so I'm not surprised that she won you 5 games. I think that's pretty much it. We talked about Goon, myself, and Aurumis went 7-0. That's pretty insane. So yeah, let's
maybe 8-0.
What's up?
I don't know where this game's. Maybe 8-0. I don't know where this game's headed right now.
8-0, baby. Let's go, Mura carry.
We took the first keep, but we're all dead right now.
Hashtag tempo storm things.
Oh.
That happened to Tempo today.
Follow game. Yeah, unlucky.
They could have won that game, but yeah.
Hanzo arrow on the bruiser camp right after. I was like, oh.
Yeah,
Oh.
that was actually insane. I can't. They never.
Everybody.
They got 5-man arrowed like 3 times that game, and it's like, dude, do you guys not understand you're playing against Hanzo? I mean, you guys know that. Come on. Was
Like, he
Psalm
just
the only
held
one
it.
calling that out when you guys would play with Psalm? Like, someone's got to call that out. You can't be hit by 4 or 5-man arrows every
He
single
held
time.
it till the perfect time. Like his team was so coordinated. I mean, apart from like the bruiser camp one where I'm just like, why are you all staying on the point? That was blind. Like some of the ones in the team fights, like his team would just press forward and like push them away, and the moment they hit the choke, boom, there's an arrow in their face, and I'm just like, oh, this is so disgusting.
It is.
Oh,
All right, anyway, so we're going to go into the final segment here. Aurumis, feel free to chime in anytime you want to kind of bring up something. I'm going to go over I'm going to go over all these points. I want to have a whole segment real quick, and I kind of wish Goon was here for this because Goon is really passionate about this. But he helped me coordinate these notes so that I know that his voice is in here and for things that he wanted to talk about. But, we wanted to go over some closing thoughts or lessons learned on Hero League for the year because Hero League is important. Whether you guys realize it or not, it is. And we harp on it a lot in this podcast. Aurumis is so dedicated to Hero League, he's actually playing it right now. That's how much he feels like it's important. And
yes.
I would be doing the same if I wasn't hosting this whole thing. But Goon has been playing a lot. I've been playing a lot. Aurumis has been playing a lot. It's very, very important, all right? And I'm going to go into some reasons why you should play Hero League, all right? This is the first thing we're going to talk about. Why you should play Hero League, all right? Why do we nag so much? Well, it's the single best way to improve at Heroes of the Storm, all right? Whether you realize it or not, it is. If you feel like you need to improve, you need to play Hero League. It's fun. And it's easy to get carried by someone. Let's say you're playing Team League or you're playing with friends. Sure, there's always fun. You want to have those fun times. That's important. But have you ever thought about how it feels for someone actually making those calls? That person carrying you, that person making all the calls. Hey, go top. Hey, go get this camp. Like, how do you think they got where they're at? Probably Hero League, okay? They're the ones grinding Hero League. Like, for instance, Bacon from the Gankbush Squad podcast, he plays a lot with the Wind Timers, and he calls all the time for the Wind Timers. How do you think that Bacon got so good at that? That's because he plays so much Hero League. He got to like 3K master points last season or something like that before he got really super busy. That's from the grind, man. He didn't just develop that overnight. That was over time that he became a really consistent master player like that. It's not, it's not something that just happens, but it requires you to actually grind. So there's that. What Hero League will do for you is it will also help you build your inner sense of what you need to draft to complement your team's draft. All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna chime in on the previous statement before we
okay.
move on. I mean, my biggest thing when I started playing is when Hero League duos happened, and I would just partner with friends, and I'd be the one the shot call. I'd be like, let's just go. Like, all right, what do we want to do next? And like constantly ask questions. Like, get in voice when you can and just play. Trust me, if you are, regardless of your league, I know there's always articles that like Silver Hero League's bad, Bronze Hero League's bad. Like, there's really no point in going up. I can tell you, I've coached hundreds of Bronze, Silver students, and every single one of them, there's many things that they could do to completely carry their games. And oftentimes they'll end up with like 60% win rates for a little while. Because there's a difference between watching an HGC game and playing as a coordinated team with people who dedicate their lives to understanding the game, and casual players who may be pretty good at clicking buttons, but don't really understand the game fully. You need to fill in those gaps of game understanding. And a lot of times that's in that macro play, which at lower leagues has been ignored by 90% of players that I've seen.
Uh-huh.
So, I mean, just look at that and just play. Like, watch your own replays, even if you're in Silver. Like, don't be like, my teammates suck. Be like, no, what did I do wrong? And watch it. And I promise you, there's hundreds of things. 8-0.
Beautiful, baby. So yeah, I mean, like, that's the point, and we'll get to a lot of these different reasons, but like, that's definitely one. Is there's nothing that you can do, or there's nothing that you can say that will exclude, that will, like, this is on you. You're queuing by yourself. You could have made this game better. How could you have made this game better? How could you have helped your team win? You never know, and you only find that out by playing. I mean, seriously. And you could say, oh well, I could do that in unranked. I mean, maybe you could do it a little bit, but the quality of games, as much as people complain about, oh, Hero League is bad, blah blah blah, dude, you can't compare a quick match game, an unranked game, to Hero League. I've had the majority of my best games in HOTS in Hero League, and you only get that by queuing up over and over again. Like, there's times you're gonna get a troll. Yeah, there's times you're gonna get someone that's placing that doesn't belong where you're at. It happens. You can still win those games, and you'll eventually also get games that are good. But the next thing here I wanted to talk about builds your inner sense of draft and how you can complement your team's draft. So like I was saying about my Braxis game, I got like a first pick Gazlo. Well, guess what? I knew what I could have done to actually fix that draft. I could have made that draft viable. I could have. I just messed up, and I didn't think about it at the time. And it only was when I played that game that I actually figured that out and learned from that. And maybe reiterated some other lessons to myself. And that's just one lesson. I mean, there's a lot of draft lessons that you learn going through Hero League. Things like ban the new hero. You probably don't want to play against the new hero if you don't know how to play against it. In a ranked setting, it's probably good to do that. Things like that. I mean, pretty common stuff. You'll end up learning it, but you may not know it by playing quick match. You may not know it by playing even unranked, because people don't ban the things they would normally play. They would normally ban, I should say, in an unranked game that they do in ranked. I've seen a lot more informed decision in ranked.
Yeah. And,
overall,
I mean, that's just how you treat the game mode too.
Yeah, exactly.
Take all your drafts seriously, and like really try to understand like what counters you. And there's a big thing with drafting. It's a lot of times people will go into a draft and you'll pick 5 good heroes, but you're not thinking about how those heroes synergize with each other, like what one hero is doing that both works with an ally and works to counter the opponent. Like picking heroes that work well in duos. That's why you see a bunch of things that you'll hear like, oh, this team combo like works really well. Like Zeratul Jaina Ring of Frost is like obviously a big one. Task Tracer is a big one. Like Oriel Vala for a time is another big one. And like you'll hear all these little combos, but there's so many smaller ones that people fail to notice. Right now, a big one like that'll stand out that you won't see much is something like Arthas and Chromie. Because Arthas is providing a bunch of slows, it makes it easier for Chromie to land her shots. Think about that. Like when you're picking Chromie, don't be like, oh, let's pick like Diablo, who's going to be displacing them. Be like, oh, let's pick Arthas because it's slowing them down. And really try to see your drafts in that way and be like, okay, if we pick Chromie, we want Arthas to line up her skill shots. So think who counters Arthas and then ban that hero instead of like who counters Chromie, assuming your tank's going to be able to protect them and stuff like that. There's a lot of other ways to really look in the draft that you should think about that's deeper down the road rather than just being like, these heroes are good.
Yeah, and so, I mean, completely. And those are things that you can fix. You can change, right? It's like, I got a first pick Chromie, okay? And I have to play tank. Do I pick Diablo, who clearly a meta pick, clearly very good? I could. But then I'd probably be screwing over my Chromie a lot of the time, like you're saying. So pick that Arthas. Yeah. Like there you can change the way the game goes literally by just pressing a different button. And that's all knowledge that you just learn from playing. I mean, honestly, some of that can come from your friends. When you're messing around in quick match, you're like, I'm going to go, my friend and I, we're going to do Chromie, Arthas, and quick match. And then you're like, oh, that's actually pretty good. And then you take that knowledge and you bring it to Hero League. And Goon and I actually did that with Mal'Ganis, Chromie.
Yeah, you were saying on the other stream.
Yeah.
It worked awesome.
We talked about that last time. That's something that we we messed around with once, and then we brought it into a different setting, a ranked setting together. That was in Team League. That was pretty cool. Next is, as well as the inner sense of like how a draft can be complemented, you also get a better inner sense for how the game is going and what you need to do to change the game, to either further a lead or catch up. So like a lot of people, you'll see this in Hero League. This is why a lot of Hero League games are lost, is because people will go, we are level 9, they're level 10, we see them on boss. I feel like I have to contest the boss. We have to stop the boss or we're going to lose. And then they go in and they die. And then then it's level, then you finally hit level 10, but by then you've lost two forts and they're level 13. And then the game just kind of snowballs and people don't know what they're doing. People are mad. That's because these people haven't played Hero League enough or like played the game enough.
Tried to understand it enough.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I have played so many games now over 4 years, just in general, just games. I know what I need to do. I'm level 9, level 10, I know. Go get value on the map. There are so many times playing Dahaka has won me games because my team will be down 3 levels, and I do nothing but side soak. Nothing but side soak. And I'll have 20 to 30k experience by the end of the game, which is absolutely bonkers. That's over double what any of my teammates have, because they're out there doing whatever, they don't really know what they should be doing. And I know what I need to be doing. You know what I mean? Like, I'm out there winning my team the game by literally not 5-manning. I'm out there side soaking safely, not dying, sometimes getting camps depending on what I am, what hero I am. So there's a lot of value in knowing what you need to do. That inner sense, oh, we're a little behind. Like, I should probably get some XP. Or I have some time before the tribute starts. I should go get that camp before the tribute starts. Or insert whatever. I mean, there's a lot of things you could be doing to help your team win by using that inner sense. So use that for drafting. Use that for furthering your lead or catching up in a game. And that's what Hero League will get you, is those things.
Also, remember to play with your teammates. As much as it's awesome to go into Hero League and be like, I want to play this hero, and then you pick it, you're seeing somebody highlight a different hero, assume your teammates don't have the knowledge to swap off, and even if you explained it within the short amount of time that it takes to draft, it'll probably be too late before they can understand. So just pick something that complements them if you want to rank up and understand draft. A lot of times people are like, oh, I can't rank up, but like if I was in Platinum, I'd be able to. And I feel like that's just a mentality thing, and it shows because you'll have a lot of HGC players, but they'll get people on their team who are like, oh, this person's going to try hard this game because there's a pro on my team, right? And it's like, why are you try harding that game? Why don't you just try hard all your games? And I feel like that's kind of the mentality you have to have. Pretend like somebody's always watching you, like, and play in that way. Play like you're playing with your favorite player every game. Like, look to compromise. Like, if you had that mentality that you were playing with like a group of your friends, like you're willing to do anything, do that with your Hero League teammates too, because half the battle of ranking up is literally just learning how to work with the 4 other people on your team. If they don't know what to pick, or they're showing something that doesn't work and you can't convince them off of it, view their profile and see their top played heroes. And if you notice one of their top 4 heroes would fit really well in your draft, be like, oh, you should play this, because chances are they're going to turn around and be like, oh wow, I love that hero, and then they'll just pick it and get off whatever they might have been hovering before.
Now that you mention that, what's funny is I tried to do that on that Braxis game with the Gazlo. I looked at the Gazlos, he was highlighting it, and I looked at his profile. I was like, oh, you could play Hammer. Just pick Hammer. But he was first pick, so he didn't want to first pick Hammer. But yeah, like sometimes if they're not first pick, they'll do things like that. They'll switch off.
Yeah, depending, and if their mains are like first pickable, they might just switch off of it. Like, you just have to learn to play the game rather than be like, don't do that, that sucks. You need to be like, hey, maybe this would be better instead, or I really like this hero here, and just like don't even direct it at them. Like, don't even target your teammate to be like, oh, why am I being targeted? Be like, oh, like Gul'dan's a great pick here because you notice that like the guy who's hovering Nova has like 500 Gul'dan games, and he's like, oh, I like that hero, and he'll just switch to it instantly. All right. But like if
Yeah.
you target him and like I don't like Nova, he's gonna be like, oh, that's bad.
He's gonna feel attacked, you know.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you gotta just you gotta play the game, and like learning to play with those players, half the battle grinding up. So remember that when you're in your games, always look at the map, look at the level lead, like be sure to ping rotations. If they're heard a quarter of the time, it benefits you, right?
And
Make
that-
sure you're always looking to camp,
and
timing objectives,
Exactly.
things like that.
And that's the inner sense. That's what this will build. The Hero League will build that inner sense. You're going to go back to these replays. You're going to realize I could have done this camp. And then you're going to build that into your mentality, and you're going to know, okay, next time I need to do this. It's like a must. So next is like very basic. Hero League lets you focus on your mechanics. If you have too many people in your ear, a lot of your friends, they're joking around, they're memeing, I know I'm playing Nova, this is hilarious, whatever. Sometimes you lose track of yourself and your mechanics, and like, oh, I could have maybe done a, I could have done a purification salvo there and actually killed that person, even though it's just one person. I could have done that. There's like things you could have realized about your mechanics that you maybe didn't realize before because you're so focused on yourself and doing well, that Hero League will bring that out in you. Like my mechanics are the best right now that they have been in my entire HOTS, like quote unquote career, right? I've played more Hero League than I've ever played, and I'm the best I've ever played because I go into these games and I literally just look at myself, feel the game, know what I need to do on these heroes mechanically, and always try to improve it. So there's that. That's very straightforward. I mean, there's no real discussion to be even had there. It's like just it improves your mechanics. Okay. Kind of what Aurumis was talking about before. It lets you build a good mentality for the game, right? So he's talking about mentality before. It gives you a mentality that you can improve regardless of your teammates, and you see that over time. You play Hero League, you will see you can improve regardless of your teammates. A lot of people complaining, oh, Hero League, blah blah blah. I'm not even salty about my Gazlo first pick. I'm not, because I know I could have done something to improve myself and the team and that game. With that said, I want to talk about just two real quick things. Like ladder anxiety. Ladder anxiety is a real thing. Ladder anxiety exists. I used to play StarCraft. I came from StarCraft. And it was so hard when I came home from work, you know, after a long day, to just like click the play button. It was so hard. I would get so stressed out from just one ladder game. But then when the times when I did do it, it started to go away more and more. I got in the rhythm of Hero League, and I actually, or not Hero League, ladder StarCraft, and I would just start to have more fun with it. And something I just want to like talk about, this is something you can find parallels to everywhere, is it's exposure therapy. You know what I mean? Like we all have this anxiety about ranked. We don't want to lose points. Blah, blah, blah. I don't want to be bad. I don't want to blah, blah, blah. You're going to lose. And that exposure therapy is good for you, regardless of what you think or not. It's going to help you to both overcome your losses and to allow you to grind more Hero League, to not feel that anxiety. After many games, you start to feel what's called outcome independence, where now this is all psychology, right? Exposure therapy, outcome independence. These are things that just happen. Like you could do this with anything. This isn't really like HOT specific, but this is something that you can implement to yourself to get over these hurdles, right? Outcome independence, the losses affect you less negatively and the wins affect you more positively. So overall, net positive thought process of like how games are. You start to enjoy the game more because of that, right? I lost more games than I won on Tuesday, but I had a lot of fun. You know, there was a lot of plays. I made a lot of plays. I had a lot of fun. I actually found some good teammates. Like I was super happy in those games that I won. I had some really good teammates that made plays, and I was so happy about it. Those are only things you can get by overcoming ladder anxiety. It's a real thing, and I don't blame anyone that has it, but I do challenge you to overcome it. It's a real thing. So, but don't use it as an excuse. I'm not telling you this to use it as an excuse. I'm telling you this as a way for you to improve yourself. And this is something that I'm so happy. I'm proud of myself. I've overcome this throughout the year, and I still get little bouts of it. But at the end of the day, I click the play button. I have a lot of fun, and I learn a lot about myself and the game. So that's pretty much it for reasons why. That's pretty much it for reasons why you should play Hero League. Like, this is like the core of the game, whether or not you think it is or not. It is. Okay? Team League is not structured in a way right now that is conducive to a person learning the game. It's conducive to a system where maybe you have a lot more fun and maybe you have a little more communication, but that doesn't mean that you're actually becoming a better player. Hero League is the de facto way to become a better player at this game. So
the biggest thing that I think the biggest takeaway is, like, you really need to look at Hero League as your core game, and don't be one of those players who's like, I play 10 games, the rank mode stinks, and then you leave. Because it's a team brawler, or like it's advertised as such, and that means you have to play with your team. And a lot of times, if you're not giving 100% to that, and like, yes, I know there's voice comms and people still don't use them, and there's a lot of things that obviously hinder that. But even little things like draft, little things like taking camps like nobody else would, or pinging things, or trying to explain it. I literally have hotkeyed why you should take the camp at 2 minutes, like, on my mouse. So if I just need to like send that message to my teammates because I'm playing Ana one game and I'm like, I really should not go do this siege camp right now, or it's going to take me forever, I pop in that hotkey message, boom, it throws out my like preset message to my teammates of why they should do something. Like, oh, cool, thanks for letting me know. And I'll get a response half the time. But if I'm winning 50% of my games naturally, and I am adding 50% of that, like, because my teammates are responding to like preset messages and like things to do that I'm trying to help them with, my win rate's sitting at high 50, 60% now, right? Like, that's how you're going to push yourself up, like doing those little things and realizing that, hey, maybe your teammates just don't know and want to, but like, they're never explained it in Hero League. There's no way for them to figure it out. So,
exactly.
be
like,
that person.
I've actually had some really good experiences lately with pings, people actually following pings and understanding why I'm pinging. And I don't have chat enabled because I've had a lot of toxicity in the past, but I do go into comms every once in a while, and I've had a lot of good conversations. Yeah, like, people, like, especially now, this is something that actually, am I going to get to this later?
I don't think so. I think that's like the end after this.
No, there's more. There's a lot more, dude.
Ooh. Oh, yeah.
So, anyway, I'll get to it. But, all right, I'm going to go into some tips now. So we went into, like, we were just talking about, like, how you can improve by playing Hero League, why Hero League is so important, okay? I want you guys to take that in. That's very important. These are almost undeniable aspects of the game. And it's, let me put it this way. There are Masters players. I've never seen a Masters player. I've never seen a non-Masters player that's a Masters player in my mind, but I've seen Masters players that maybe aren't. So, like, if you're not in Masters, it's probably because you're not a Masters level player. Like, let me put it that way. All right? And I'm a plat. So, if I'm saying that, then I'm clearly, like, being honest about myself and about the game. Now, tips that can help you become a Hero League like grinder, fiend, is to, now this is something, Goon is really enthusiastic about, is like embrace the grind. And my kind of recommendation here is to set aside some time that you can grind Hero League specifically. That's what I do. And when I do that, I try to get a minimum of 3 games, and I get a maximum of, like, let's say 5 or 6. And then some people play more than that even. But I would say, a good solid amount is 5 or 6 games. You need that amount of games to kind of, to get like a good, sometimes you get the games that are just whatever. But like, you need that amount of games to get a good amount of like exposure and a good amount of like thought process as to what you can improve on. The next thing is like stop caring about rank. And that's a very hard thing that relates back to like ladder anxiety, something I kind of already talked about. But you just need to play the best you can be. And Goon specifically has said that for him, rank is an indication of your current state of mind, or like your transitioning state of mind. So like there are some days where I play like a master and I'll climb. You know what I mean? I'll climb super high. And that's my transition. Like that's my transition to like that master mindset, you know? And then there's some days I play like a plat and I stay 50%. So that's just kind of how that is. And I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
Another thing to think about is like rank itself is literally meaningless in this game. Like sometimes, you know, let me put it this way. Being master is great. It definitely is a good indication that you're probably a good player, but Grandmaster is not implemented. Master and Grandmaster itself is not implemented in such a way that makes it so that the best players are at the top, because of the way that positive rate adjustment works for the last 2 seasons. And what I'm trying to get at with this is not like Hero League is meaningless. What I'm trying to get at is literally just don't care about it. Like you're probably not a Masters level player. I'm not a Masters level player. I go into every Hero League session going, what do I have to lose? I don't have anything to lose. You know what I mean? Like what am I going to go down to Plat 3? I'm at Plat 2. What am I going to do? Go down to Plat 3? I mean, honestly, that's the worst that could happen to me. So what?
Yeah.
No big deal. Like there's really no net negative to that. And then you can come back stronger the next time, you know? That's pretty much it for tips that can help you be a better HL like grinder. Do you have anything to add to that?
No, I think that was pretty well said. Just play more, and if you ever need help or have questions, ask somebody. I'll help.
Exactly. And then I just wanted to end this, like the final point here. I wanted to address common negative mindsets for Hero League. I wanted to address things that I've heard a lot. Like, you know, we always bring up on this show about, you know, about Hero League and how important it is. And then people will go, oh, but this, oh, but that, oh, but this, like this negativity. I just get this negativity and I can't see it. You know what I mean? I'm not that type of person anymore to be that negative. I want everyone listening to have a positive mindset constantly and focus on not only themselves, but improvement and enjoyment of the game. And that will make you play Hero League more. So I want to address this first one. I enjoy playing with friends more than I do myself, by myself. And there's a lot of people that feel that way. I would say, honestly, this is one of the most...
Play Team League.
This is one of the most, like, the biggest things that people tell me. And this is my response, because this has happened to me. Okay. So, what if your friends quit? What if every single one of your friends just quits HOTS? Or what if you want to get better, but, like, they're never online anymore? Like, not really. What are you going to do? You just going to stop playing? I mean, my point is, there's going to be times where your friends aren't on. Just queue up for some Hero League. Play some Hero League, right? For me personally, most of my friends have quit over 4 years. I have maybe 10% of the friends that I made when I started this game, or like had when I started this game, still play on a consistent basis. And that's just reality. People move on from HOTS, whatever, but there's a lot of people that want to play and get better. Just play Hero League when you don't have people to play with. If that's how you really feel, I enjoy playing more. Make new friends. Make new friends. I could have easily messaged some of those people that I played Hero League with, and I was like, dang, that's a really good Ana. You played a really good Ana. Like, let's play some Team League sometime. You know?
They found me playing in a tournament.
Yeah.
In the HCL tournament back in the days.
Exactly. Like,
and ended up like messaging me after the game, like, "Hey, that was fun. Like, we should just play sometime. Add me." And I was like, "Okay."
I know. Yeah, we found each other through just through playing the game in competitive, arguably very similar to Hero League in a lot of ways for the improvement mindset and whatever, right? Team play. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, like, at the end of the day, people are going to play for the reasons they want to play. Some people don't even play ranked at all. And you know what? That's perfectly fine in your own. If that's what you are committed to, is not playing ranked. I know people that only play quick match. That's perfectly fine. But you're not going to get better. You're not going to get better by doing that. And if you may enjoy playing with your friends more now, but you can also learn to enjoy playing by yourself. It's really not that hard. I did it myself, and I joined 4 friends, and I learned to do it myself. And so can you. I mean, it's a very simple thing. And then you can also play with your friends on the side. But I'm just saying, like, you should integrate Hero League into your games, regardless of how you enjoy the game the most. So that's kind of the first point.
Yeah.
It's a harder one to address because it's very subjective in a lot of ways. Like, I can't make you like enjoy playing with your friends less or enjoy playing by yourself more. But all I can tell you is that you can enjoy it by yourself, and you have to do your own. You have to put in your own effort for that. Like, I can't do that for you, but I can tell you from personal experience, that it is possible. The next one I experience a lot, so point number 2 is Hero League queues are too long and I only have a limited time to play. Well, unfortunately, this season did not help that kind of argument because of the way they implemented Team League. A lot of people are playing Team League now, so Hero League queues are just by default longer because not as many people are playing Hero League. Some people play Team League and whatever. They switch back and forth. The queues can vary widely, so it's unfortunate, but that's kind of how it is now. But something I want to bring to this discussion is an undiscussed side effect of like all of that is that people that play Hero League are legitimately passionate about Hero League. I've had a lot of good games. There's a lot more good games than normal. It's like actually kind of crazy. I'm actually enjoying Hero League way more than I did last season. Could be random, but I'm sure it's partially due to the fact that people that are queuing Hero League want to play by themselves and improve and actually win the games. Like there's a lot less trolls in my games. And that overall will improve your win rate. You're going to win more often because there's less trolls. Straight up. Not us trolls, by the way. Just trolls like, you know what I'm saying. So, yeah. And if you really want to help with the queue times, something you could do is maybe try to play a little earlier in the day. And definitely set your region to best match. Because when you're in best match, you have all of the places, all of the queues available to you. Whereas if you set it to only like West, you're only getting West. So you're getting a limited amount of people. So by setting it to best match, that will help your queue time. Okay?
Check your ping, though. Like, don't do it if your ping skyrockets. Like, I know sometimes when I go on West, I will literally have, like, 300, 400 ping. If that happens, I wouldn't advise it. You're probably just a detriment to your team and your own rank at that point.
True. I'm just saying, if you can,
but look,
you should do that because it'll give you a game quicker. Okay? But yeah, definitely check the ping. Make sure you're not 300 ping. That's important.
Yeah. That's very important.
And something related to this is like, I don't know why people are complaining about time involved because no matter what, if you want to truly improve, you need to put in time and dedication.
This game is faster to rank up than like all of the other MOBAs too.
I know. All it takes is time. All it takes is time and effort. Yeah, the queue is going to be 10 minutes sometimes. Not all the time. I've had queues of 1 minute. I've had queues of 10 minutes. In either case, my games were fine. I've won most of those games. And
HOTS games are also much shorter.
And HOTS games are also much shorter, which means you're going to be done in like 15, 20 minutes. So I don't want to hear excuses about limited time to play. I have limited time to play too. You know, I don't have all day to commit to HOTS, but I make the time and I dedicate myself to improving. That's part of the improvement process. So I don't want to hear, you know, to me that's almost inexcusable, like the whole timing thing, because if you want to make time for it, you're going to make time for it. That's pretty much it. That comes down to most things in life. And yeah, that's kind of the cold hard truth for that one. But point number 3, a lot of people have told me, of all people, me, you don't know what it's like to play bronze, silver, etc. It's impossible to climb out. It's impossible to climb out. It's not possible. My teammates are too bad. Actually, you have literally 3 examples right in front of you right now of people that have climbed from really low ranks to really high ranks.
I was rank 50 of 50. That's equivalent to bronze 5 when I started the game. I remember struggling to win against AIs. This was my first MOBA.
This is a lot of people's first MOBA, including my own. I got to rank like 10 preseason, which was actually not bad. But
that
then
was higher than me.
But then I placed gold, low gold, and I had to work up from gold 5 all the way to where I am now. And I'm not even that high. I'm at top of plat, you know. And that's mostly because I didn't play the game. I didn't play Hero League. If I placed
into silver when I started, and I grinded like first season to like gold 3. I still rock my gold portrait from like season 1 sometimes, and grinded up to master GM.
Exactly, man. And the only reason I'm not diamond or master right now is because I didn't play for literally 2 years. I didn't play Hero League for like 2 years because I was so just upset of where I placed and the mentality aspect of the game, that the unhealthy mentality. I had a lot to get over, and it took me almost 2 years. And then I finally started playing Hero League more and more. Things are improving. And this year was my most improvement yet in terms of mentality for playing the game, and also my improvement. So
yeah,
I went from
tell every week on the podcast you're no longer the villain.
No,
sometimes now.
I mean I am sometimes. I am sometimes still.
Sometimes.
I have to be the evil guy that always does the negative or the devil's
advocate.
Devil's advocate, yeah. But I'll take it.
Yeah, like mentality wise, like before you're like, it's like I remember over the summer in the beginning of our podcast, you're like, but what do I do? Like, it's dumb. And now we're like explaining it, and now you're just like, you can do it. Trust me, it happened.
If you went back and listened to like my first couple podcasts,
yeah,
it's actually crazy how much my mentality has improved. And I would not be saying these things if it wasn't actually like how I felt. Like, this is not me lying to anyone.
Yeah, go watch the first couple of podcasts if you don't believe them. Like, watch like June 15th when we're sitting there and like Soken's like baby rage, and it's like damn. And now he's like so happy. He's like, I'm ready to grind more games once the podcast is over.
I know. So you went from rank 50 to master. I went from rank
50 to silver
to master, and then I went from rank 10 to gold 5 to plat. I went to plat 1. Technically, I've gotten up to plat 1. I could be in diamond if things went a little better last season. But basically top of plat. Basically the top of plat. I mean, that's a lot. That's 10 divisions. I went up 10 divisions. That's a lot. That's a big accomplishment. Like, people don't think about that, right? It's actually a huge accomplishment. You went up two divisions. That's potentially like 10 games that you won more than you lost. That's really good, and you should be happy about that. And if that's what you did during one season, good. That means you've improved. You should be happy, and you should continue to grind, because it only gets better. So really talking about it's impossible to climb and blah blah blah. It's not. It's really not. And we are all on this show literal proof of that, as well as there's multiple people out there, multiple popular streamers. I'm not going to say the names. Multiple streamers who have done bronze to GM challenges, or at least bronze to masters, and have done it. Now, whether or not I feel like that's morally correct, that alone is enough as well. Like, there's so many examples. What?
Yeah, the biggest thing is game knowledge. Like, I would say 90% of the difference separating a like bronze player from a master is game knowledge. Like, even if you're not as mechanically great a hero, but you know exactly where you should stand and exactly when you should cast your abilities, and you know where you should be and when you should be there, like, you can miss a skill shot or two and it'll be okay. because none of the other stuff will be messed up. You'll take less damage, you'll survive more, you might bait an enemy, like things like that. You can grind easily to low masters with that alone before you have to become mechanically very, very good.
Completely agree.
Yeah. Like, watch your replays and learn about all that stuff. Like, that's the most important in my opinion. And that's could easily be taught and learned, like, quickly.
Exactly. And the final thing related to this about climbing, and I can't stress this enough, I really can't, is you have to remove your ego from this equation, right? People that are not better than you are going to beat you. But because their team overall played better that game, maybe had a better draft, something like that, they might beat you, and you're gonna lose, right? You're gonna lose, and that hurts all of us. I mean, that hurts all of our egos. There's no denying it. I mean, I'm not impervious to this, but you have to just find a way to overcome that, and part of that comes from the grind, because you're gonna lose. You're gonna lose, and it's inevitable. You're gonna lose, and then you're gonna go, well, damn. I'm losing a lot lately. Maybe I could improve, you know, and you're going to look at that replay, or you're going to think about it. And then you're going to start practicing those things that you feel like you messed up on. Like, that is the ideal mindset of, like, the evolution of that mindset. Right. Or at least kind of the transition, because you kind of have, it's like a cyclical process over almost sometimes. You'll evolve to this new rank. You'll transition to this new rank. I'm a diamond now, you know, I got to diamond. I'm really good. You know, I've got to diamond. I'm a diamond level player. And then you'll get bodied. You'll get bodied in diamond. Then you'll go down to the bottom of plat, or the top of plat again. And you'll be like, oh, you know, I really need to focus on improving again. So you get this like back and forth kind of like cycle. It's kind of an interesting thing, actually.
Yeah.
With that said, I want to play this little, it's like a motivational thing that I saw on the MMA subreddit today. And it was perfect for how this kind of segment ended, right? I just talk about removing your ego and losing. It's a motivational quote type thing from someone called or a guy named Chael Sonnen. He's formerly in the UFC, now in Bellator, and he talks about just kind of like how about failing and whatever. So it's a very quick thing. It's only like 30 seconds to a minute. So I just wanted to play this real quick.
Doubt seeps in. You got two roads. You can take either road. You can go to the left or you can go to the right. And believe me, you know, they'll tell you failure is not an option. That is ridiculous. Failure is always an option. Failure is the most readily available option at all times, but it's a choice. You can choose to fail, you can choose to succeed. And if we can plant seeds and let him know, move your feet, keep your hands up, stay off the bottom, that is the road to victory. Or self-doubt and negative talk, and that is the road to failure. But failure is always there, and it's okay to recognize that.
And if I could leave you with anything today in my own journey through this, it's one, it's okay, and two, it's normal. And as athletes, and especially as men, as male athletes, we hate to admit weakness, even to ourselves. And when you're dealing with something, you get some kind of a hiccup, yeah, first thing, acknowledge it. You just did.
All right, 1 second here. I gotta put this back down. I had to turn up the volume. It was like a little messed up. Sorry about that. And I just closed the tab. God damn it. Anyway, I wanted to leave you guys with that. I will post the video in chat for you guys in case you couldn't really hear it. Sorry about that if you couldn't hear it. But anyway, Chael Sonnen, as much as he's kind of like a jackass sometimes, actually has some really good quotes, a lot of good talk about mentality and whatnot in relation to fighting. So you can maybe look up more of that if you want. I'm into MMA, as most people probably already know. And I've always found the mentality of fighting is very similar to a mentality of like a ranked game. It's kind of crazy. You get like a lot of the same feelings. So check out that video. It's in chat. I put it in chat for you guys if you want. Learn to fail, learn to love it, and just play the game. That's what it all comes down to. And I really do hope that a lot of you guys take what I'm saying seriously. I put a lot of thought into this. I put a whole straight hour of my day was just committed to this section. Just why Hero League is important, why you should grind it, and how you can be better like at the Hero League grind. I truly am passionate about improvement. KC Court and chat, I'm helping him as best as I can with whatever extra time I have to improve in his Hero League grind. He's in bronze and he's trying to improve. I already played with him a little bit, showed him some things. Aurumis is a coach. We talk about this every cast. Aurumis is helping with coaching, and both of us, including Goon as well. Goon is an HGC coach as well as like community person who helps a lot with all that stuff. Guys, if you have any questions, we can go over replays with you for free. Goon has a lot of time. I have some extra time. Aurumis can coach you as well if you're willing to pay for some actually in-depth time. If you want to pay for an hour, an hour of in-depth coaching, Aurumis will give you more than your money's worth. Okay. We're trying our best to give you all the resources we can. And that's what we're going to continue to do on the Nexus Trolls. That's something I can guarantee you is as long as we're on this podcast, we're going to continue to try and hype you up. We're going to continue to show our love for this game. We're going to continue to just try to improve your mindset. So I hope you guys enjoy it. And that's all.
After BlizzCon, like I said in the previous podcast, I'm getting everything set up for little educational series I'm going to do, post everything on live streaming on Twitch and then post it on YouTube after. That'll kind of give you guys a sense of what coaching will look like. So you can take that for saying, okay, if you want more of that, but in depth to your play, you can definitely come in and get coaching yourself. And hopefully all the videos I'll put up will give a bunch of tips. And yeah, I know, Fringe, you needed that coaching session. I think I was in lab that day.
It's okay.
Fringe needed a lesson before a Bush League finals, and I was at a nuclear reactor. And
it's okay. He quit HOTS. So it's okay. He quit.
Oh, he quit HOTS?
No,
it happened?
He didn't quit HOTS, but he's going more casual because he wants to focus on personal goals. So his job and whatnot.
Oh, that's a good thing. Yeah. That's what I'm trying to do at school. And then I'm like, well, there's HOTS, and then here I am. Homework due at midnight. Grinding out scrims and a podcast.
Yep, and Hero League.
And Hero League, all at the same time.
Oh my god. The passion, everyone, the passion. So
gotta get more HOTS.
Yeah, I knew you were joking, Fringe. I knew you were. And by the way, thank you for all the support for the podcast. I really do appreciate it. I know you're focusing on your own goals, so that's cool. And with that said, is there anything else you want to end on for that segment? Because we're gonna sign off pretty much.
If you're at BlizzCon, say hi. Let us know. I want to meet up with everybody. If you're not at BlizzCon, watch BlizzCon. Watch the games. If you're at BlizzCon, watch more HOTS. Play. Look at the drafts. Really think about it. Watch the differences between the compositions of teams who really came prepared, the top tier teams, versus the teams that are losing more of their games. Just the draft compositions alone. And really understand how sometimes team compositions wow, these heroes are really just working together, they mesh well, versus wow, I don't really know what this comp's trying to achieve. It's trying to do either too much at once and spreading itself thin, or too little. So really look at that and you'll learn a lot. That's all.
Yep, pretty much. So, we've already kind of talked about this. So we'll be at Con Before the Storm. We'll be there hanging out. I think it's the World of Podcast portion, right? So we have our own little section for that. I think it just says Aurumis on the website, funny enough. It says the Nexus Trolls, as the logo, but then it says Aurumis. There's Aurumis. So I don't know if it's just you. I don't know if it's just you that's allowed or whatever.
No, it's everybody who's put down.
Okay.
We'll talk about it more later. After
Okay.
This.
Anyway, so they mislabeled it or something. I'm not sure, but yeah. So anyway, the point is, if you're at Calm Before the Storm, you're there for the world of podcasts. You know, there's a ton of people there to see. So, like, there's a bunch of personalities, HOTS personalities. Go see them, and then when the world of podcasts is there, come hang out with us. At least say hi. I would love to see a lot of you guys if you're there. It's free as far as I know. There's a lot more there too for World of Warcraft, Diablo, a bunch of personalities for other games and stuff. So I really hope to see a lot of you guys there as well. Goon will be with me. Aurumis will be with me for that day. And then we'll be all around BlizzCon. Like, feel free to hit up any of our Twitter DMs or, slide in those DMs. Know what I'm saying? Hit me up on Discord. Hit us up on all the stuff. So definitely, we will see you guys at BlizzCon. Thank you so much for coming to episode 99. And again, episode 100 will be the Tuesday after BlizzCon at 6 p.m. Pacific. Okay? The Tuesday after BlizzCon. So about two-ish weeks from now. So with that said, thank you guys for listening to the Nexus Trolls, a Heroes of the Storm podcast, which we stream live to our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/trollsgg every week on Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. Aurumis, where can the people of the Nexus find you?
You can find me at twitter.com/gg_Aurumis. You can find me at Discord at AurumisGG. You can find me on Gamer Sensei if you're looking for coaching. I do individual and team, whatever you want. I'll post my link in the chat. That should give you a couple dollars off your first lesson. I think I do a 25% discount on the first one on top of that. So it comes out to like $8 or something if you want to give it a shot. Check it out. It's the second one that Soken posted.
Yes.
That's the one with the second one's the one with the discount. You like that one more. So yeah, definitely check it out, and I hope to see you guys around. Make sure you contact us about BlizzCon. I'm pretty excited for it. Feel free to DM me on Twitter or Discord, anywhere, and I will make sure to meet up with you, answer any of your questions while I'm there. I want to talk about HOTS the whole time. So
yes, please do not be shy. Like, seriously, no one be shy or anything like that. We're not like the biggest celebrities, whatever you want to say, right? But we're just people that love HOTS. We're just normal people that love HOTS. We would love to talk about HOTS and hang out. So, Goon, you can find Goon at Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube, all /GoonHOTS, GOON HOTS. As for me, you can find me on Twitter at Soken GLHF, SOKEN GLHF. I tweet about pretty much mostly HOTS related things, sometimes MMA, sometimes other nerdy stuff, sometimes, most of the time, memes. So at me with your finest memes. Thanks. And I stream to Twitch, twitch.tv/Soken, SOKEN gaming. I streamed Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of this week. I streamed, Monday was Final Fantasy 14. Did some cool raids there. And then Tuesday was HOTS, Hero League. Wednesday was Full Metal Furies with my best friend. We were co-oping on that game. That was super fun. So I do a variety of streams, but most of the time it's HOTS. Just this week it was a little all over the place. And that's it for us. But if you enjoy the show, you can support us in a variety of ways. There's multiple ways. Here on Twitch, you can support us with a tier 1 sub or with a Twitch Prime subscription. Any subscriptions, much appreciated. You can subscribe to our show on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, or wherever you find your podcast online. Of course, as I talked about at the beginning of the podcast, patreon.com/trollsgg. That's the best and most meaningful way to help us out, honestly. Any support is really, really appreciated. Thank you guys so much for all the support you have given us. And any word of mouth, follows, etc., anything to get our name out there. There's a lot of threads out there about, podcasts, which podcast should I watch, blah, blah, blah. If you happen to throw out our name out there, much appreciated. Any exposure is really good for us. We super appreciate it. Speaking of Patreon also, huge thanks and shout out to our chieftains, Preston and Eric F. and our war chiefs, Super Dave and Steel Condor. Thank you guys so much. Love you guys. Visit our website, trolls.gg/TheNexusTrolls, to watch this and past shows. You can also find our past streams and whatnot on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/c/TrollsGG. For announcements about the show, like when we go live on Twitch, and general Heroes news, follow us on Twitter at TheNexusTrolls. If you want to hang out with us or the Trolls community in-game, type /join_TrollsGG in-game. Capitalization does not matter. And you can also join our Discord, trolls.gg/Discord. Finally, if there's any business stuff you need to get in contact with us about, any kind of business-related things, sponsorships, ads, whatever you want to talk about, business-related, hit us up at TheNexusTrolls at trolls.gg. So that's it. Thank you for everything. Thank you for watching. We'll see you guys next time.